Hello again. Welcome back to Billy Ho Sports and our continuing coverage of the King's Plate at Woodbine this Saturday. We're doing a late pick 5, races 9 through number 13. So go check out the video on the King's Plate. And then I have other videos on Saratoga racing this weekend. There's a few big stakes races, the Lake Placid and the Alabama. Late pick 5 videos out for that as well. I certainly do appreciate all the support. Since I am a solo operation, I do depend on my viewers hitting that subscribe button, like, comments, engaging, sharing on social media, all that kind of great stuff. So all that is very much appreciated. Thanks for joining me today. Let's get into this late pick 5. We're going to try a single in the first leg. So let's take a look at the past performances. Okay, we begin the pick 5 with race number 9, mile and a 16th on the inner turf, $50,000 in 2X. Your top choice is going to be the 4, Never Surprised. You can see by the power rankings, he's significantly better than the 6 or the 7. I did consider Ron's Gizmo and Clear Destination. There was a couple other ones that I considered as well. Lord of War, number 3 horse, and number 2, Fighter in the Wind. I think you could use all those underneath for exotics. Definitely ran some pretty good speed figures. 93 is to par. So I landed on the 4 horse, Never Surprised, Repo Stables, Kevin Attard, 200K price tag. Everything just points to this horse being ready. Beaten favorite twice in a row. I think this is the spot we get there. Switching jockey maybe might make a difference. I think this one will be a little bit more on the pace. I think the reason he got caught was he just got a little too cute, running a little bit on the slow side, going on the mile and an eighth. But I think if he can get out there and build a little momentum, I think they'll have no problem taking this down. And that's leg 1 of our pick 5. Like I said, I did consider Ron's Gizmo, and the more I look at it, the race looks better on paper on the all-weather track, but I think that the 4 horse is much better than that. So number 7, Clear Destination, I think was pretty decent too. But all in all, your first leg is going to be a single, the 4 horse, and that's going to be Never Surprised. Let's jump over to race number 10. That is going to be 6.5 furlongs on the turf. And this is 2-year-old fillies. So we'll spread a little bit. It's a catch a glimpse. We're going to go 4 deep in this one. So looking at it, the first one that popped up was Will Rain. Second out. Ran second by half length in its first start. So Mark Cassie and Kimura hook up. Definitely going to use that one. My next one, I considered Salt, but just the speed figures were just a little bit less, and it is a jump in class. So Shifty is one I'm just going to include. Mark Cassie, I like the 15-1 high percent trainer. I think it's going to run I watched this race, and it was just a really awful slow break, and just didn't really get into it until late. Then she did rally. So I think Shifty could provide some good value. So number 5, Ready for Candy. Didn't quite make the board, but I did consider it. It just missed by a nose. Imogene Wilson. So 29% beaten favorite by the trainer. I did consider it, but just didn't quite get there for me. Number 7, Bullet, looked too strong. I think Patrick Husbands, Mark Cassie. This one could have been a single, but I did include a few other ones because I like this next horse, and I'll tell you why. She's a Funky Drummer, was entered last week when I covered the pick 5 at Ellis Park. Larry Ravelli, David Cohen, but scratched out of that race to come here. So I think that was I believe the debutante, which was worth 175K. This one I think is worth a little bit less. So I think this is a better landing spot. I do like the switch to turf. First on grass, 27%. So the two-way leg here is well, I'm going four. I think I'm going to go four deep here. So I'm going 2, 4, 7, 8. So we are going to use Will Rain, Mark Cassie, and the other Mark Cassie, Shifty. And then we're going to add in Bullet, and she's a funky drummer. So that's going to be our four-way split for leg three. Now let's jump over to leg four and see if we can't narrow it down, make this ticket a little cheaper. And I think we've done so in this one. 7 furlongs on, whoops, not race four. I believe race 10 or race 11. I'm sorry. This is actually the King's Plate. So go check out the preview video on that one. I line it all out for you. And the picks, I do believe we went four deep in that one. 3, 4, 5, 7. So that is going to be Essex Serpent. I like Essex Serpent, the 3-horse for the win. Just FYI. And then the other Mark Cassie horses are all in there. And then I like the filly, Caitlin, Her Greatness. So let's move on to race 12, where we're going to start narrowing things down a little bit. So what we got here is a 1 3/8 on the inner turf. I did consider the 1 and the 2, Ghostly Spitfire and Meyer. Both of them looked pretty promising, but the speed figures were just not there. And then Meyer, I was really close on, but I thought the class was a little bit good enough, but not quite what I was looking for in my figuring. Two-way crossing was another one that was close, but eligible and improved second off the layoff. Just didn't get there for that one. But the 6 and the 7 were the two horses I narrowed in on: Elusive Knight and Journeyman. Journeyman's probably the top pick, just a little over his over his head in the Seagram Cup Grade 2. This was won by last year's King's Plate winner, so that tells you how tough that race was. But I think is much more competitive when you get into the little bit lower fields, and the 90 speed figures are all there. So I think that one looks good. This one drop in class, third off the layoff, and definitely has the fastest turf speed and has a 100 speed right here, which is awesome. So I think I think the horse is capable. So 6 and 7 are going to be our leg number 4. So let's round things out with leg number 5. That's going to be race 13. And that's 7 furlongs on the all weather. And I basically did go with the 2 prime powers, the 2 and the 6, Odine Lady and Spectacular Force. Scored was the other one I did consider. This one looked pretty chalky. Noisy Girl, no thanks. I wanted speeds up in the 70s, and obviously these are just not fast enough. But I like First Time Lasix. I think that the speed will increase. I think had some success, ran some 80s, just hasn't found it in her 4-year-old campaign so far. So good jockey, ready to go. 20% trainer, First Time Lasix. So we're going to include that one. Not going to look at a first time starter here. Silent Passion, speed in the 60s. I don't see an improvement there, nor I do with the 5. But I do think the 6, Spectacular Force, a little bit better in the speed rating categories. I think that it will definitely appreciate another run by Savachi and Martin Drexler. This one's going to hook up. I think we'll be a little closer to the lead and won't have so much ground to make up down the stretch. So the final leg is 2-6. So let's put a bow on this and get on out of here. All right. So to recap, race 9, it was tough to single in leg 1. So if you lose, you could just run back the pick 4, right? So everything lines up for the 4 horse to win. So we're going to single that one. Then in race 10, you have the Catch a Glimpse for the 2-year-old fillies. So these are 2-year-old fillies. It did look like a single with the number 7 Bullet, but the 2 Will Rain, 4 Shifty, 7 Bullet, and those 4 I do believe will be good enough to get that one done. Then we move to the King's Plate. Like I said, Mark Cassidy has the 3 strong entries. I'll use those 3 in the pick 5, but I'm not going to use the 2, and I think I will use the 4, and that's the filly, Caitlin, Her Greatness. So those 4 are going to be the King's Plate. Then you have, I do love the 3 Essex Serpent for the win in that one. So race number 12 is 9.5 Inner Turf. Not going to screw around on this one. I think the number 7 Journeyman looks the best. Then number 6 Elusive Knight could compete third off the layoff. Now I would use number 2 Meyer and number 3 Two-Way Crossing underneath, but not in the pick 5 ticket. The nightcap looks like a couple of strong contenders. I decided to toss the 12 Scored. I didn't like the way she faded down the stretch going this same distance. She is definitely an exotics play, though, underneath. It came down to number 2, Odine Lady. If she responds to first-time Lasix, that should get her closer. And then the high percent Jockey and Trainer, obviously. And number 6, Spectacular Force. If shows the same late burst going an extra furlong, should have a chance to win as well. So those are your late pick 5 selections. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe and like and share on social media. Till the next time, see you soon.